Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how you can make awesome running blades out of spring steel from leaf springs out of cars. Keep in mind that even though I show you how to do this, building these and using them can be dangerous. So if you choose to do so, you do it at your own risk. So the very first thing we're going to need for this project is leaf springs. I went ahead and got these for about 10 bucks a piece off Craigslist. They're not pretty, but they'll do the job pretty well. Now the first thing we're going to want to do is remove the retaining clips that hold these leaf springs together. You can do this with a pair of channel locks like I did here. Once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and shift our attention to the center bowl here that holds the leaf springs together. To remove it, I went ahead and put a pair of channel locks on it and then just use a combination wrench to break it loose. Once we've done that, we can go ahead and pop off the nut, and then these leaf springs should separate all by themselves. I'll go ahead and save the other leaf springs for another project, and we'll go ahead and use this center medium-sized one for the project that we're doing today. After that, we'll go ahead and just punch out these plastic pieces with some wire snippers. I'll go ahead and save the remaining leaf springs for another project later on. Now we're going to want flat, even edges for our running blades. I went ahead and cut off the ends of our leaf springs, then shaved down the sharp edges. Now at this point we have two leaf springs of even lengths to use for our running blades. I went ahead and sanded them all down so that it'll make it easier to paint them later on. At this point they're starting to look pretty good. Now I'm going to go ahead and save those end pieces that we cut off earlier to use for leg braces later on. Now at this point I'm going to use some 2-inch square tube that I got at the metal store to form the footrests for our running blades. I went ahead and measured out the length that I wanted for my footrest, which was about 9 inches. I then used an awl to scratch the marks in the surface I'd used to cut with an angle grinder. Now because these will have a built-in side support when I cut them, you'll see that these actually make very strong footrests, which is good because they'll be bearing the full weight of a person. Now because we don't want to weld across spring steel, we're going to use some steel plating to attach our footrests to the leaf springs. This will help prevent weakening from overheating the leaf spring. As you can see here, I went ahead and just marked the steel plating, and I had some 3/16 steel laying around, so I actually just used the angle grinder and cut off a small section. As you can see here, we're now going to attach a cross member to actually strengthen the footrest. I went ahead and just used the leftover pieces on this 2-inch tube steel to create these cross member pieces. From here, all I had to do is use my MIG welder to tack them on, and then we're pretty much ready to mount it to the leaf springs. At this point here, I welded the footrest to the backing plate. Once the footrest was secured to the backing plate, I then went ahead and placed the crossmember piece and then tacked it in place so that it wouldn't move. Then all I had to do was finish it up with a few solid welds, and we were pretty much good to go. And remember, when welding for a long time, I do strongly recommend using long sleeves because I did actually get pretty badly sunburned from this particular project. Now at this point we can go ahead and weld our footrest to the leaf springs. As you can see, I'm welding along the side of the leaf springs to hopefully preserve some of that spring steel strength in the middle. Now if you remember, we had those leftover end pieces from our leaf springs. We're going to go ahead and weld those to the top of our leaf springs so that when we're walking we'll actually have stabilization for our legs. At this point here, you can see that they're all tacked into place and ready to go. Now at this point here, I can go ahead and use these washers that I found in my parts bucket to create a base for our shoes for walking. The purpose of this was to create a larger surface to weld to, so I'd get proper contact when I actually attach the shoe to the actual running blades. As you can see here, after just a little bit more welding, I had the running blades pretty much all put together. The cool thing about these running blades is that they were so well balanced that they'd actually stand up on their own in my garage without even having to support them. However, at this point they were still just bare metal, so I decided to use some leftover spray paint I had laying in my garage to paint them a nice glossy black. Once that was done, the other important thing I decided to do was go ahead and use some leftover inner tube rubber that I had from my bike tires and just wrap it around the bottom of the running shoes so that I'd get a little more traction when walking. As you can see here, the running blades actually work pretty well. The only downside was that they're a little heavy, so I couldn't really run in them, so I guess you could call them more of walking blades than running blades. To make things simple, I just went ahead and used some leftover woven straps I had laying in my garage to tie my legs to the actual running blades. Overall, I think these running blades were a huge success, and I think even the neighbors got a kick out of it watching me walk around out there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video on how to make your own running blades. And remember to be safe, use caution, and have fun. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more awesome how-to videos and do-it-yourself projects.